I'm dying. Malignant brain tumor, so my doctor tells me, Danny Graham said with a shrug. Joplin Ashford waited for the punchline. Her uncle was famous for throwing out comments, the more outrageous the better, designed to get an emotional response. Laughter, tears, anger, didn't matter. Though he was a sophisticated man in many ways, his sense of humor never matured beyond that of a 13-year-old boy. I'm serious, my dear. Deadly. Huh, Danny snorted. Sorry. Turns out, when your prognosis is hopeless, the jokes start writing themselves. Knees suddenly like jelly, Joplin sank onto the chair opposite Danny's desk. She swallowed, trying without success to find a bit of moisture in her suddenly dry as the desert mouth. You're dying? Danny nodded. You're dying? Joplin whispered. Impossible. You're a rock. Invincible. Legends don't die. Except legends did die. All the time. Seemed lately the mortality rate had reached an all-time high. Off the top of her head, Joplin could name a half-dozen music industry icons who were no longer among the living. Singers, writers, producers, no one was immune. Yet she'd never thought of Danny as vulnerable to the ravages of time or disease. He practically raised her, taking charge when her parents had lost interest in their baby experiment. She was conceived in a doomed attempt to save a marriage. Hardly shocking when, 6 months after Joplin's birth, Chris and Fred Ashford went their separate ways. As a baby, toddler, and preschooler, she was left in the care of a succession of nannies. The day she started the first grade, Chris decided out of the blue to become a devoted mother. To her credit, the impulse lasted longer than anyone expected. 6 whole months until something new and shiny caught her eye, an Italian in a silver Lamborghini. The impulse took her life when the car crashed on a rain-slicked road outside of Paris. In a twist of irony and fate, Fred Ashford died a week later of a massive heart attack. Too young, but he lived a fast life filled with excess and self-indulgence. The rich food and lack of exercise simply caught up with him sooner than most. Enter Danny Graham. A bachelor, he could have passed his sister's child off to another relative, or tucked her away in a fancy boarding school. Instead, for reasons he never explained, he decided to take Joplin in to live with him. Too young to understand the loss of parents she barely knew, Joplin's life didn't change a great deal when she was shuttled from one mansion in Beverly Hills to another. Again, her primary care was turned over to strangers. Danny, busy running a music empire, didn't suddenly feel the urge to be a father figure. Manager to some of the top names in the industry, he was chin-deep in lucrative ventures all over the world. However, when Danny was home, he always carved out a little time for Joplin. Odd to some, but the only normal she knew. She would sit in his office, much as she did today, and discuss the world he inhabited. Heavy subject matter for a child under 10. However, even when she didn't understand the meaning, she absorbed every word like a sponge. Before Joplin reached the 6th grade, she knew, like her uncle, the business end of the music world was her calling. As she rubbed elbows with entertainment royalty, she watched, listened, learned. Better than any university, her life was a master class.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.